we doing, guys? Welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. I trust you've all had a good week. My week has been quite busy actually, not been up to a great deal. Before I start any gaming related shenanigans, my West Highland Way race, if you watched my waffle last week you'll know I was doing the West Highland Way race last weekend I should say. It starts in Mulgai in Glasgow and finishes in Fort William. It's 95 miles, it's just over 95 miles in length. Done it twice before. Oh, that's my phone beeping away there. Yeah, done it twice before. Now this year, running wise, has been not great. My training's not been good for a variety of reasons. My job for one of them. So I was kind of touch and go whether I was even going to do the race. I mean, it costs a fair bit of money to take part in it. You know, it was paid back in December, but you know, it was touch and go whether I did it. And at the last minute, I thought, you know what, I'll give it my best shot. So I did that. So the race started at 1 o'clock in the morning. I got to, where did I get to? I got to Balmaha, which is 20 miles. 20 miles in. Felt really good. Probably ran it a bit too quick. Then the next stage you go down and you run along Loch Lomond, the side of Loch Lomond towards River Dennon, and at that point when I was getting to hills I just knew that my legs weren't what they should be. My legs, I mean, there's some absolutely just stupidly steep hills. I don't know if anyone's been along the West Highland Way. People think it's a little trail. It's nothing like that. It's the terrain is just outrageous. But anyway, got midway towards River Dennon and I realised that I thought, nah, I was feeling my legs were really heavy feeling, and I knew, I've done that course often enough that I knew there was simply no way I could run for another, I don't know, you know, 25 hours, another 70 odd miles. So I reluctantly retired at River Dennon. I mean, I covered 26 miles, you know, and yeah, people say to me, how can you be disappointed, you've still done a marathon? Well, that might be the case, but at the end of the day, the race is 95 miles and I failed. So yeah, I'll need to pick myself up, dust myself down, get back out running. So yeah, that's running side of things. Gaming, yeah, what I've done is, I'll let you see in a wee second. In fact, it doesn't matter, it's really not interesting. I've reshuffled my gaming room about. Anybody that maybe remember, my main cab is usually sitting there and it's actually at a kind of low height. So what I've done is I've actually put the main cab, I've put it on top of a unit and it's now in that corner facing out the way. So hopefully it's going to be better to play it because it's more at the kind of height that an arcade cab should be. So yeah, that looks good. So that's that. What have I got to talk to you about? Well, I'll tell you before I start, I've got, I don't like calling it pickups. In fact, yeah, hell, why don't I call it pickups? My sister-in-law works in a charity shop. Now, I've asked her if she would put aside any Xbox games for me, and then I'm going to basically pick what ones I want and buy them. So she put some games aside for me. I've absolutely no idea what's in this. Sega GT Online, never even heard of it. Toka Race Driver 2. I'm not even going to open it up whether it's boxed or incomplete, I really couldn't give a monkey's. Need for Speed Underground, that's quite interesting. I did a video, was it yesterday I think it was, of my 3DO, and I looked at the very first version of Need for Speed. Yeah, graphics have certainly come on slightly since that one. Fable, that's one of these Linehead games from Peter Molyneux. Yeah, I think I've played that before. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And what else? Yeah, I can't see there's anything there that's really grabbed my attention. Oh dearie me, it gets worse. Manchester United with Ronaldo. FIFA 2005, that's worth about half a pence I think. I was going to say the first one, it's not Driver 3, I think that was a lot of pish. This is a demo, we're not interested in that. Alien Hominid, I kind of heard of it, looks kind of cartoon like. And 2 to go. What on earth's that? Jaeger. It looks, let's see what it looks like. Is it a first person shooter? It's actually hard to tell. Beautiful, says Edge magazine. Jaeger, might keep that one. and Club Football Chelsea. So yeah, there's a lot of nonsense in there. Maybe a couple of games I might keep. So yeah, that was that bit. So I've obviously told her to keep her eyes open for any Radiant Silver gun. Yep, that's that now. One of the pickups, it's not pick, it is, I don't like that word, pickup. John Studley, Pac-Man extraordinaire, who I was lucky enough to speak to. John recommended a guy, he actually makes joysticks, he actually made a joystick for John. Now, coming from a guy who's a Pac-Man world champion, I thought, well, if it's good enough for John, it's bound to be good. So, I contacted the guy, and he's made me this bad boy. It's completely hand built. Now, you can see there, it's specifically made for Robotron. It's got the twin sticks. Now, I've got to say, the controls feel really, really nice. They really do. I would probably almost say they feel better than my actual main cab. These are apparently the dog's bollocks when it comes to joysticks. So yeah, you've got the twin sticks, and there's a few other buttons here, one player and that kind of stuff. So this is really nice. I mean, it's completely handmade for myself, customised. So yeah, if anyone is interested, let me know, and I'll quite happily share the details. So got that. It's for the PC. Obviously, it's got the USB stick thing. So yeah, anything to talk about. I do apologise about I didn't include a topic from last week, so you didn't have anything to actually ask about. One thing, I was at the I'm talking about gaming. I was at our computer club on Wednesday. Now, one of the guys took along a machine, and what this is it called? I don't know what it's called. It's a Spectrum 128. But this thing actually comes inbuilt. It has a VGA output. Does it have an HDMI output? It may do, I'm not exactly sure. It's got a built-in SD card reader, but the actual hardware itself is brand new. It's actually a brand new machine that's been put together, and it's obviously it's 100% compatible with the Spectrum 48K and also the Spectrum 128. Now, it kind of got me thinking about. I was talking about real hardware versus emulation last week. Now, this machine that my mate's got, you know, is really impressive. I mean, it really is. What he's done is he's actually put it inside a 48K case. So, for all intent and purposes, it looks just like a Spectrum. But it's not a Spectrum. I mean, I suppose you could say it is a Spectrum, but it's been designed today. It's been manufactured in the present day. I suppose you could say it's the ultimate Spectrum. If Carlsberg made Spectrums, that's what it would have looked like. But it just got me thinking, where it's a fine line between sort of thinking that, yeah, this is a Spectrum, when technically it's not really a Spectrum. I suppose, the fact it's got the rubber keyboard in it does feel more like a Spectrum. I mean, it's a fine line between I can, if it's just a machine that's emulating a Spectrum, then would it not be easier to just use your PC? I don't know. I'm really not quite sure where I'm going with this, or the point I'm trying to make. But what I'm trying to say is, when does a real machine not become a real machine? I mean, I always think that real hardware is where it is just that. It's original hardware, with all the restrictions that it comes with. Obviously through technology, I've managed to get sort of like SD card sort of storage type things for most of my machines. So yeah, you're still using the real hardware, but you're using a kind of modern solution to actually play games. But with that Spectrum that my mate's bought, would that be classed as a Spectrum, or is it merely a piece of hardware that's emulating a Spectrum? I don't know. I mean, I know it's not emulating it. It's basically somebody's taken a Spectrum 128 and used modern components and built it. So for all intents and purposes, it is a Spectrum, but it's just been one that's been built in the present day. But like I said, I don't know where I'm really going with this. Is it a real Spectrum or not? I would say no. But I mean, the thing is, if you get used to playing something like that, which is the ultimate Spectrum, it looks like it sounds like it, albeit you can output the sound through speakers. It's also got the SD thing, so it's a lot easier to use. And the thing is, if you start using that, would you ever go back to using an original one? Probably not. Probably not. So, and I'm going to pause it for a wee second, guys. Also meant to show you this. I got this. I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead, and I got Rick Grimes. This is from my Father's Day from my daughter Ava. So thank you very much to Ava. Love it. Good stuff. Anyway, right. What have we got? That's about all I can really think of. Apologies in advance. Now let's see here. What have we got? What have we got? Okay, right. Jamie has very kindly given a few questions, asked a few questions. Right, okay, waffle questions, Alan. Number one, you got a new PC a few months back and I'm looking to get one. What were its specs again? Ah, Jamie, that's not really a question for people to be find interesting. Dearie me, what is it? Is it you know what, I'm really not clued up on hardware. Is it i7? It's an i7 processor, which is, I think it's about the fastest processor you can get. An i7 processor. Dearie me, it's got 16 gig of RAM. It's got, I think it came with a 500 gig hard drive, but I've stuck a 200 gig, is it SSD, whatever it's called, solid state drive. I've stuck that in it. The card, oh dearie me, the graphics card cost me, what was it, about 150 quid, maybe not quite as much as that. Don't ask me what the graphics card is, I really have no idea. So all in, I mean, the computer cost me, what did the computer cost me? The computer cost me about £500. Was it 550? Something like that. I think the computer was 550. The graphics card was about 120. So that'd be 670. And the solid state drive is about another 100 quid. 620. So it was about £700 all in. It's a fair bit of money, but I've got to say, everything that I've tried to run in it so far, it seems to work perfectly. So it does me. I'm not a big I'm not a massive PC gamer as such. I mean, you know, people will pay £500 for a graphics card. You know, there's some mental sort of bits of hardware out there, but it certainly does me. If you want sort of exact specs as to where I bought it from, Jamie, just drop me a wee message and I'll certainly provide that. So yeah, question wise, what's the other questions Jamie was asking? Where are we? Okay, gaming allows us to be any number of fantastic things. Secret agents, ninjas, racing drivers, etc. When you were a kid, what was your dream fantasy job and what is it now? Well, that'd be telling. Apart from the obvious fantasy job for most blokes, but anyway, can't talk about that in camera. What did I want to do? As a very, very young kid, and I'm talking about kind of primary school, I always wanted to drive a sit-on grass cutter. I wanted to cut the grass. I always thought it looked like a brilliant job. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do as an early kid. But then when I started high school, sort of first year at school, I decided like most kids, I'd like to be a vet. Sadly, I realised pretty quick that wasn't going to be an option. I mean, I done alright in the sort of exams front. I got a few hires and some O grades, but I didn't get the qualifications to be. Apparently, to become a vet, you need to be even cleverer than you do if you want to become a doctor. So very quickly, I realised that the vet wasn't something that was actually going to ever happen. But yeah, I wanted to cut grass and then I wanted to be a vet. That was my two kind of dream jobs, if you will. If there's a dream job that I'd like to do, if I could have my choice of dream jobs, what would it be? I don't know, I think I'd like to be a kind of Bear Grylls type character. Somebody who goes round the world, or even like a David Attenborough, somebody like that who just goes round the world, you know, looking at things, researching things, discovering things. I mean, I think these guys' lives must be incredible. I mean, think of David Attenborough, what he's achieved in his life. Yeah, I would love to have been an explorer, somebody who actually goes to sort of undiscovered parts of the world, stuff like that. Yeah, that's probably it, an explorer, I would say. And this bloody iPad keeps stopping. Okay, what were you a kid? What was your dream job and what is it now? Oh, when you were a kid, what was your dream fantasy and what is it now? Yeah, I would still like to be an explorer. Probably getting a bit too old right enough for it. Well, there again, it doesn't stop David Attenborough, so there's possibly time for me yet. Okay, and Jamie's last question is, when will the Blimey vids return? Have you contacted Stuart Campbell, Gary Penn, etc. to confirm yet? Now, I've got to say, Jamie, it's not been my fault that these kind of videos have dried up. I possibly got a bit too enthusiastic after getting the Dominic Diamond gig. I really thought that that was going to open the floodgates. I thought people were going to see, bloody hell, this guy's interviewed Dominic Diamond, you know, where'd I sign up? I contacted on the sort of the cusp of that success. I contacted quite a few. Tony Crowther. I didn't contact Rob Hubbard. I contacted Martin Galway. Who else? Robert Florence, who is a Scottish kind of TV person type, not celebrity, I don't like that word, comedian. Him and this other chap did Consolvania, which I mentioned before. Tried to get in touch with him. Now, none of these guys have got back in touch. I don't think they've even... I contacted them through Facebook. A couple of them have read the messages I sent, but they've never replied, and a few of them haven't read them yet. Stuart Campbell did get back to me when I contacted him originally, and what he said to me was it was about a month away from the general election, and anybody that sort of knows Stuart knows that he's right in his politics, probably more so than gaming. So he said, look, let me get this stuff out of the way first, then give me a shout. So I'll need to get back in touch with Stuart. I did contact Mr. Studley for part 2. Now he's actually going on holiday for a fortnight, so we're going, because I was hoping to interview him this weekend, but John's actually going to be away for a couple of weeks, so that'll need to be reconvened. I have been in touch with my mate Tony Temple, Missile Command World Record holder. Now it's very short notice. I've asked Tony if he could talk to me on Sunday. He thinks he might have something on, but he's going to let me know, and we'll take it from there. So yeah, it has kind of dried up a wee bit, Jamie, but it's not been down to lack of effort on my part. I maybe should start thinking, and maybe should start chasing people more. Gary Penn, again, did I get back in touch with Gary? I did contact him and he said, yeah, that'd be great, let me know. And then I think I got back to him and nothing's happened since then. So yeah, I will need to get that going again. I'm conscious, guys. I mean, you probably see that this week, or this week has been pretty, there's been a complete dearth of videos. I've just had that much other things kind of going on at the moment with the West Highland Way race. I didn't get back till kind of Monday night or Monday afternoon. But yeah, I'm conscious I've not done too much. I did one yesterday, my 3DO one, but I certainly intend to kind of get back into it again. I do need to finish. You know, it's been that long. I actually forget the videos that I put together. I'll need to get another Arcade Perfect My Arse. Definitely get another one of these ones done. I want to get another. What do you call it? That was the year that was. I think I'm up to 1994, so I've only really got maybe another 2-3 years, so I really need to make a point of doing these. The problem I've got is lack of time. To do these kind of videos when you're putting lots of wee video clips together, I really need to use the computer downstairs, and I can't do that when my wife and Ava are downstairs. It's just not possible. So it would mean doing it late at night, and you know, I just can't be arsed doing these things late at night. But I will get down to doing these ones. What else? What other videos do I normally put together? Obviously you get the waffles regular. They did what? Yes, I did obviously one for Microgen last week or the week before, I think it was. So I quite enjoy doing these ones, so I'm going to get another one put out probably next week. Try for that. So yes, that is it, guys. There's no other questions as such. I don't think there is. So yeah, again, and I seem to always keep saying this. Apologies about quite a short waffle, but yeah. I need to kind of come up with some questions for next one, so I'll probably post that later on anyway. But anyway, listen guys, that is it. That's enough for me. I trust you all have a great weekend, and as usual, thank you so much for watching.